PayPal, PayPal, PayPal. What in the hell are you doing? We've got to really be honest about this. It's like, again, they're stating that they never intended for this language to be out there in their policy. But it's like somebody wrote this. Somebody wrote this information. It's not like they tripped and oops, and it showed up on their website. It's not. It didn't happen like that. It never happens like that. Somebody wrote that information, and it was agreed upon, I'm sure, by a team of people within, high team within that company. It's like, there's no other way that would have been written. But what happened with PayPal is a couple days ago, or at the end of last week, I think it was, they posted an acceptable use policy notice dated for November 3rd of 2022, so a few weeks in the future. And they said in the policy that they can basically fine people up to $2,500 for violating parts of the user agreement. And let's check on what that is. I'm going to read to you a little bit of what it constitutes at their sole discretion a violation of use. The section read, you may not use PayPal service for activities that involve the sending, posting, or publication of any messages, content, or materials that, in PayPal's sole discretion, are harmful, obscene, harassing, or objectionable, or B, depict or appear to depict nudity, sexual, or other intimate activities. But, a D, depict or promote violence, criminal activity, cruelty, or self-harm. E, depict or promote or incite hatred or discrimination of protected groups or individuals or groups based on protected characteristics like race, religion, or gender identity, sexual orientation, etc. Or F, present a risk to user safety or well-being. Or G, fraudulent and promote misinformation or are unlawful. I think that's the big key right there. The people are, I was like, whoa, number one, you're saying that you can, at your sole discretion, you can fine us $2,500 by debiting our accounts. And so you at your sole discretion, you can debit our accounts. And at your sole discretion, you determine what is fraudulent or misinformation. You do it, not us. And or if somebody is, misgendering somebody or whatever, it's like you make that determination. And it's like, again, we got to buy, whatever. They're private companies are policing us. And the document also said that PayPal may subject you to damages, including liquidated damages of $2,500 per violation, which may be debited directly from your account, as outlined in the user agreement. So that means that the company can recover what they consider damages in $2,500 based solely upon what they feel to be misinformation. their sole determination, not a court, theirs. And that, I think, is what's scary. It's like they can determine how much money up to $2,500 apparently of what they can charge you for that misinformation. David Marcus, who was the president of the company from, I think, 2012 to 14, he wrote, I think, on Saturday, "It's hard for me to openly criticize a company that I used to love and gave so much to, but PayPal's new AUP goes against everything I believe in. A private company now gets to decide to take your money if you say something that they disagree with." Insanity. And yeah, I agree. And actually, Elon Musk, who was obviously a co-founder of PayPal, he agreed. He wrote back, agreed. Yeah, we're just going to write that, and and oops, somebody wrote that because they were told by the company that was a policy they wanted to enact. Nobody just writes that. So, but again, guys, I want to put up a quick segment from Fox News Business on this from yesterday morning.
Welcome back. Take a look at PayPal stock this morning. It's down about 1 1/3%. The company is backtracking now on a recently announced policy that it would fine users $2,500 for anything that they deem as misinformation. It sparked backlash on social media. So yesterday I spoke with the former Teal Capital president, Arizona Senate candidate Blake Masters, about the plan. Watch.
We need to ban companies at that level, at that size, especially if they're touching banking or if they're in social media. We're going to ban these companies from discriminating against users because of the political content of their speech. You can't let a non-bank lender at the size of PayPal just discriminate against people and decide what's misinformation and fine them. No, I'm sorry. We should make that unthinkable, and we're going to make that illegal once we take back Congress and the White House, certainly.
Well, joining me right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, guys, I've never used to be right-wing at all. And I still don't really consider myself right-wing. But, anything that it scares me when people start telling you what pronouns you can use. They're wanting to regulate your speech. They're wanting to make it mainstream and acceptable to, put kids on hormone blockers or hormone therapy or, transitional surgeries to affirm genders. It's like and if you speak against this kind of stuff and they consider it disinformation on certain platforms, they take your platform away from you. It's like when people when they start doing that, this is why I'm gone. I can't deal with that kind of stuff. It's like, and I think a lot of people are that way. It's like, yeah, I'm an old school liberal in a lot of ways. And what I mean by that is I'm not beholden to the Democratic Party. I feel in certain ways that, we should liberalism. We should have freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of doing what we want to do within confines of the law. But if you want to regulate speech and you want to regulate certain parts of the First Amendment and you want to regulate certain parts of the Second Amendment and you want to say that you want to say that you have the authority to say that somebody can't say something, or you're going to fine them, or deplatform them, or possibly arrest them. As from the case of I think it was Bill C-16 in Canada. Like, and they're saying, oh, that wasn't an arrest or that what, it's like, but you can find somebody for not using pronouns. This was back in, I think in 2016. It's like you can find somebody for not using the correct pronouns. What happens if they don't pay the fine? What happens if people refuse to go along with what you're saying? Then what happens? Do you go to jail then? I think that kind of stuff is really scary. And right now, the people that are pushing back against that kind of stuff are not the left. So, it's like, to me, liberalism is understanding that we have the right to certain things like free speech, speaking what's on our mind, whether or not it goes along with somebody or not, or goes along with the mainstream narrative or not. We can do that without pushback, people can disagree and yell and whatever, but they can't have you deplatformed or fine you or have you arrested or whatever. When things start going in that direction, they're going too far. And especially when private companies are saying that they can do things, that they can enact certain policies that push a certain agenda, and they're the ones at their sole discretion that can say whether something is true or false. But anyways, guys, if you would, give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thanks.
You son of a